Hello everyone and thanks for tuning in. I am your host Mike Malarkey and this is On the Nose, the place for all things ridiculous that are too good to be true but are indeed true. This is the place for the news you want to hear. Alright, hold on to your hats folks, because this story is a wild ride. I'm sure this one is going to make you laugh and scratch your head at the same time. It's about a man named Lawrence John Ripple, a 70-year-old from Kansas City, Missouri. Now, Mr. Ripple found himself in quite the predicament back in 2016 when he walked into a bank and handed the teller a note that read, "I have a gun, give me money." But before we dive too deep into the story, let's take a step back and analyze the situation. Here we have a 70-year-old man who probably should be sitting on a rocking chair on his front porch, enjoying his golden years, but instead he's robbing a bank. And not only that, but he's also telling the teller that he's armed, making this robbery even more dangerous. Now, you may be thinking, wow, this guy must be in dire straits to resort to such drastic measures. But hold on, it gets even crazier. After the teller handed over the cash, Mr. Ripple didn't make a run for it. Nope, he just sat down in the bank's lobby, waiting for the police to arrive. Can you imagine the scene? The bank teller probably breathed a sigh of relief after the robbery was over, but then looked over to see Mr. Ripple sitting calmly in the lobby, almost as if he was waiting for a cab without a care in the world. When the police did arrive, Mr. Ripple didn't resist arrest. In fact, he told them, "I'm the guy you're looking for." Talk about making the police's job easy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would someone do something like this? Well, according to Mr. Ripple, he had gotten into an argument with his wife and didn't want to go back home. He then decided that robbing a bank and getting sent to prison was his best option. You heard that right, folks. He wanted to go to prison to get away from his wife. I mean, talk about a desperate attempt to get out of a tough situation. Most people would just go for a walk, or visit a friend, or file for divorce. But Mr. Ripple decided to rob a bank and face serious legal consequences. In the end, Mr. Ripple did plead guilty to bank robbery, but the judge took into account his clean criminal record and his admission of guilt. He was sentenced to 6 months of home confinement and 50 hours of community service. So, there you have it, folks. An unbelievable yet true story about a 70-year-old man who robbed a bank just to get away from his wife. Ironically, in the end, he was sentenced to house arrest and community service since he had no prior criminal record. He also told the judge that he and his wife were attending marital counseling. It just goes to show that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and things don't always turn out the way you hope they would. Thank you for tuning in today. If you got a good chuckle out of this one, please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.